Hey, it's Midnight Raven, and it's day 8 in quarantine or isolation or COVID hell, whatever you would like to class my living situation currently. I tested positive this morning again. Would you believe it? Honestly, I just assumed I would test positive again. My cough has nearly subsided. It still feels kind of tickly and everything, so I'm still trying the cough medicine. I've got a slight headache at the minute. I don't know if that's due to being indoors constantly. But I have had to nip out today. I had to post my PCR test back so that I could get another result that probably says I'm positive still, because for some reason I can't stop being positive. Um, but aside from that, obviously, I still have 2 days of isolation left. Today is day 8. I'm meant to isolate for 10 days, and then after 10 days, if I'm still testing positive, then I can just go back to work and just carry on. So that's what's going to happen. So for the foreseeable time, I'm still off work. But today I got bored of being indoors. I went to post my PCR, and I noticed that on my app, which is here, which is called Food to Go app, there is the ability to pick up a food to go order. If you don't know what food to go is, basically it takes places like Flour and Bean, Costa, and various other food establishments where they come to the end of the day and they want to get rid of like old stock, end of dates, and stuff like that. You can go on there, you can put where you live, which narrows it down. I've got Dereham and Swaffham because I obviously work in Dereham but live in Swaffham. So I picked up an order today from Costa in Swaffham, but I also do have Flour and Bean in Dereham, and I do have the Costa in Dereham as well. So around about, I'm gonna say around about 3:15 this afternoon, it came up that they had a bag available, or a magic bag as they call it, available at the Swaffham establishment, and that I could pick it up as I went to go put my PCR test in the mail. So I went over there to pick my magic bag up, which is this. So a magic bag, you have like an hour to pick it up. You have to be allocated one, so you have to go on to the app, and it will come up here like this, that you have an allocation, and if you do have an allocation, then you obviously can go pick one up. You can't just turn up and expect to get a bag. They are allocated. And I will show you mine. I was allocated a bag this afternoon to pick up from the Swaffham Costa, and I get a total of £3 to have the bag. And then inside you got what I call 3 chilled items, and then you got to have one of the fresh items that were on the shop front. You got to choose either a muffin, and the only muffins they had left were lemon. You could have almond croissants, where I'm allergic to nuts, so I couldn't have that one. So the item I picked for my fresh item, if you want to call it, that was fresh that day, was a pan au chocolat. Smells divine. So I got one of these, which, to be fair, I'm not sure how much a pan au chocolat is at Costa. I think it's probably must be at least £2. Must be a couple of quid for that. So that's not all of my money, obviously, but also in the bag we got a vegan barbecue chicken panini. These had obviously been marked down, but then they obviously hadn't gone. The date on them is the 21st, and it is actually the 21st today. So they do this every day, and it's to stop the waste of stock being put into their bins by doing it like this. So obviously this is vegan, and it basically says that it is soya, potato, and wheat gluten with a Texan style barbecue sauce. So yeah, it's vegan. It has the vegan up there. So yeah, depending on what you enjoy from Costa, you've obviously got that. It looks fine. It's obviously got salad and everything in it. It's got peppers. I think it's got peppers, roasted peppers, tomato, and that. So you've got that. It's basically like a plant-based barbecue sub. Also, we got a cheddar and roasted tomato toasty. Now, I know for a fact the toasties are £3 on their own, because I generally get a ham and cheese toasty on my break at work, and the toasties are £3 on their own. So this is £3 without the rest of the items, so I know I've got my money's worth. So then this is a roasted sun blush tomato, mozzarella, and vintage cheddar Costa toasty. You got that, and that is also dated today. And then you got another item, the last item in the bag today, and this is the first food to go bag I've actually managed to get. I've tried quite a lot, but never quite managed to get one. And then this is the mac and cheese box. So I don't know if you can see it in there, but there's mac and cheese. And these on their own are £4 because I bought them myself. So this is the mac and cheese box. This is with natural cheddar, spinach, and parsley crunch. Again, dated for today. So these are usually £4. The toasty is usually £3. The barbecue plant-based one, these are either £3 or £4. So you got 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. Plus this, you've probably got £13 worth of value for £3. So you probably saved yourself, had you gone into Costa and bought these, you'd have probably saved yourself a tenner in money. It's unbelievable value. You can't necessarily pick the items. The only item I actually got to pick was the pan au chocolat, and that was because you get one bakery item, or you did in this bag, and you got to choose a muffin, a pan au chocolat, or an almond croissant. And then these three were already in my, you have like an allocated bag. When you pick that you want a bag, you get an allocated number that then correlates to the bag when you pick it up. So, in all, I got a £4 mac and cheese box. I got a £3 or £4 sub. I'm not quite sure because normal subs, I think, are £4, but this is plant-based, so I'm not quite sure. I could be wrong. It might be £3. So then you get your toasty. These again are £3. So even if they were, £4 and £3 each, you're still getting your value. And this is obviously cheese and roasted tomato. And then the only, if you want to call it fresh item of the day, if you want to call it that, is the delicious pan au chocolat, which I believe is about £2. I think it's between like £1.50 and £2, and that is brought in this morning. Costa's bakery stuff is usually brought in the morning. The chilled stuff usually stays in the chillers, and then when it gets to their sell by date, obviously on them, they then put them in these go-to bags. So if you haven't used the app before, I can highly recommend it. It is the first time that I have managed to get a bag, and I've had the app for maybe a little over a year, but I haven't necessarily religiously tried to get one. It was just today I sat here, I was watching Living Bobby, it's a YouTube channel, and he was talking about the go-to app in Switzerland, and they'd used it over there. I didn't know it was like a worldwide thing. But yeah, you go in to pick up your order, you get to choose your bakery item, and then all you do is you just swipe at the bottom to say you picked it up, and if you want, you give them a rating. They also ask what you got in your bag. If you want to divulge that, it's entirely up to you. You have an hour to pick it up, so if you're unsure of whether you'd get there in time, if you obviously don't get there by the time, they then throw the items away, I guess, because they're then classed as being out of date. So this is what I picked up today. I went to get my PCR sent off. And basically you walk into Costa with this, you get them to swipe it, you walk straight back out. It takes literally 30 seconds. Depending on if there's any customers in, you literally just walk in, swipe the thing, show your thing, get your bag and leave. I had a mask on the entire time, but a woman's gallery, I've been in for 8 days. It's not breaking the rules because I had to take my PCR, so I'm allowed to walk into town anyway. And picking up food is necessary, especially with the fact that I live alone. And after being indoors for 8 days, apart from posting my PCR tests, I'm a little claustrophobic, and I have to tell you, the fresh air on my face felt so good. Just to breathe oxygen that hadn't been in your house for 8 days, it felt so good in my lungs. It felt so good on my skin. You miss the outside, like hydration or dehydration or whatever. I missed it. But yeah, if you want to see more from me, I'm still in isolation. It is day 8. I tested positive. Yada yada. You're probably bored of it now. Believe me, I'm bored of it. Would I like to go back to work? Absolutely. Would I like to get out of this flat? Oh my god, yes. That's why I went to get this today. But highly recommend the go-to app. As you can see, the unbelievable value you get. Like I said, you can only pick one of the items. You can't pick all of them. So if you're a little bit picky or allergic to anything, this might not be up for you. But you never know. So if you want to go to the go-to app, just go to Google, look it up, go on the App Store, see if any of the places are doing it in your local area. I have Costa, and then in Durham I have Flour and Bean that do it. So you're just going to have to check out your local area, see what does it, and see if you can get one. Comment down below, have you used the Food to Go app? What do you think of it? Let me know, and obviously I will see you tomorrow for another video because I'm still in quarantine. Again, I'm bored of it. I just want out. And I will see you tomorrow for quarantine day 9. Take care and thanks for watching. Love you all. Bye guys.